Hello and welcome to my next OpenBVE video. Today's video we are taking the Virgin Trains Class 390 Pendolino on the Network West Midlands route from Maybank TMD to Hammerwich. So let's get into the cab and get the train set up ready for departure. I'm just going to put the train into forward and reset the AWS. And then we can turn off the DRA because we don't know what signal's coming up, and there is no signal for a bit, so we will need to be moving in a moment. And we need to turn the headlights on to day running. The starting speed here in Maybank TMD is 10 miles an hour. And we currently have just over a mile to go until we arrive at Maybank Station. So the train I am using is the Class 390 Pendolino cab and sounds available on BVE4 trains, but I have swapped the exterior out for the version that's available on HST OpenBVE trains, I believe. I will leave a link for both those in the description, and that's because, as you can see, the model is really nice, whereas the default one that comes with it is from the object that you can see on the route, so it's just not very good. It's low resolution, the shape isn't great, so that is why I am using this exterior. I think I've also modified it so that the lights actually light up and the windows emit light. But apart from that, it's the same default model. As you can see in front of us at the moment, we have a red signal. So we won't be leaving the depot yet. And just after we cross over the points up ahead, the line speed goes up to 25 miles an hour. But we won't be able to accelerate up to that unless the signal changes and our train has fully passed the speed board. So the signal has now changed to a single yellow, which means we are cleared into half of the platform at Maybank, because there's a signal block midway down the platform. But we can't accelerate up to 25 until our train is fully within the 25 mile an hour speed limit. We'll be able to accelerate up as we pass the next overhead wire gantry post. This is a 9-carriage Pendolino, which is why you're having to wait quite a long time. So we're now going to accelerate up to 25 miles an hour. You can see the signal has now cleared to green, which means we are cleared all the way through Maybank Station platform, and we're cleared into platform 2. As you can see, this area of the route hasn't been as well developed. You can see on the left hand side it's just flat, land. When you read the route description, it says that the Maybank TMD was new for the 2019 release of Network West Midlands, and this area is to be developed further. Speed limit is going up to 30, and we'll be able to accelerate up to 30 as we cross over the next set of points. You can see now we're just about to come into Maybank Station, and you can see there's a yellow signal halfway down the platform, and then there's a red one at the end. And we're going to be stopping at the S car stop board. Which is at the end of the platform. And we now have 2.5 minutes until departure. And I'm going to put the DRA on because at the moment we are stopped at a red signal. One of the nice things I quite like about this cab that not all cabs have is that the door left and right buttons do actually light up. You can see that the door right lights have lit up, which isn't always a feature of every cab. In today's journey we are forming the 1A07 Virgin Express service from Maybank to Hammerwich, which is the 0630. And we'll be calling at Riverside, Frankley Junction and Hammerwich. So it'll be quite a nice quick run. Journey time is just over half an hour. I'm just going to speed up the clock because I will put us into neutral because otherwise the DSD will keep going off. Now you can see us sitting in the platforms at Maybank next to a Class 323, which are the standard commuter train for a lot of the services on this route. See, the signal has now jumped up to a double yellow. I'll turn the DRA off because we are now ready to depart. So we are leaving on a double yellow signal at the moment. But the next signal should clear up to green by the time we leave. And the starting speed here is 30 miles an hour. Which is shortly going up to 70. As you can see on the left hand side there. And we should be able to accelerate up to 70 miles an hour just after we pass under this bridge. And you can see that the signal has cleared to a green. And the line speed is 70, so we just come up to 70 miles an hour now. now just coming up on Blackford Station. And we currently have just over 31 miles to go until our next station, our final station, which is at Hammerwich. Unfortunately, one of the issues with this route is the distance to next station doesn't always work correctly. The line speed is about to go down to 60 miles an hour. For when we're passing through Whitminster Station. That's Whitminster Station. There's a branch line that joins the line there, which has come from Blackbrook via Lower End, and it's a single track, non-electrified branch line. And as we enter this tunnel up ahead, the line speed is going to go back up to 70 miles an hour. Should then be able to accelerate back up to 70. The line that's going off to the right there is the non-electrified line that is going round to Salford Bridge and will then rejoin us at Frankley Junction. Some more visible warning for an upcoming 40 mile an hour speed limit, which is the speed limit through Riverside Station. We're now coming up on Washpool Station. As you can see, the signal is a double yellow. Just slowing us down to 40 miles an hour. The 40 mile an hour speed limit is coming into force just after this set of points. And you can see that we currently have a yellow signal, which means we are cleared into Riverside Station. But it has now jumped up to a double yellow, which means the signal at the end of the platform will be a single yellow. And I aim to stop at the 9-car stop sign, which is quite near the end of the platform, but it's not at the end of the platform. See the 9-car stop sign coming up there, which is the second to last stop board. We've arrived 43 seconds early, and I'll put the DRA on because we do not have a green aspect at the end of the platform. I'm going to turn off the light that says tilt not available, because I feel like at this point we could have tilt on, but unfortunately with the limitations of OpenBVE, trains do not tilt. You can have banking and super elevation on the corners, and you'll notice that the cab will lean with that, and from the exterior the body of the train will lean. I'm pretty sure if you code the exterior of the train well in a specific way, you could make it so the bodies will tilt, but this train does not have that. But I don't know of any ability to make the actual cab tilt more than it would do if it was just a train that didn't have tilt. But I'll turn the light off anyway. See, we do not have a green light, so I'll turn off the DRA. Just wait for the doors to be closed. The starting speed here at Riverside is 40 miles an hour, and it will shortly be going up to 75. The line speed goes up to 75 as we enter the tunnel, but we won't be able to accelerate up to 75 until about midway through the tunnel. Which is probably around here. Just as you start to see light at the end of the tunnel. We now have currently just over 26 miles to go until our final stop at Hammerwich, but our next station will be Frankley Junction. We're now coming up on King's Road. And the line speed is now going up to 90. And we should be able to accelerate up to 90 miles an hour as the train passes the end of the platform canopy. We have a neutral section coming up now, so I'm just going to shut off the power and you should see that the lights in the cab will go out. And the power has now come back, so I'll put back on the power. We are now coming up on Clifton Greenbridge Station, and the line that branched off at the left unfortunately is not modelled at all yet in Network West Midlands. And at the end of the platforms, just before the bridge, the ignition speed is going up to 100 miles an hour. We are now coming up on Dorley Station. And we're now passing through Burntwood Station. The next station we'll be passing through will be Frankley Junction. And I would start to slow down as you see the next footbridge that goes over the railway line. You can now see coming up, so I will now apply a step 5 brake application. And you can see we have a double amber signal. But we are cleared into Frankley Junction. And the line that is joining us now from the right is the line that has come from Salford Bridge, that branched off from us just after Whitminster Station. I'm aiming to stop near the end of the platform at the 9-car stop sign. Sort of aim to stop around entering the platform at around 35 miles an hour. Just about right. See the 9-car stop sign coming up now. And I put the DRA on because you can see we do not have a green signal at the end of the platform. We arrived 58 seconds early, so we just have 1 minute and 40 seconds to go into departure. The signal has cleared to green, so I'll turn off the DRA. One of the things I do think this is probably my favourite route that's a UK British route to drive, because it is just the most detailed and it's got such a wide selection of rail services you can do, which just makes it really interesting. There's all the randomisation that you can have, so sometimes you'll have rain, sometimes you don't, and you'll get random ESRs and TSRs along the way. We've not yet had any of them on this journey, but some other journeys have more. But I think the thing I find most disappointing about this route is just the length. It's 30 miles that you can do with an electric train. Actually, you can go a little further if you're driving one of these stoppers that's going to Hobbs Cross, but it's not a massively long route. And when you get to do 125, you really don't get 125 for long. And I feel like that's the thing I find most disappointing, is just that fast bit is as short as it is. If you drive one of the non-electrified services going all the way down to Wellingham Ludgate Hill, it's a bit more of a longer run that I enjoy more, and I will do one of them soon. And if you go via the loop, then you'll get Wellingham Ludgate Hill is just over 60 miles, which is a bit more of a longer route and sort of quite a nice drive. It's almost ready for departure. So put us back into forward. Wait for the guard buzzer. We are now departing Frankley Junction, and our next station and final stop will be Hammerwich, which is in just over 19.5 miles time. And we should be arriving there in sort of just over 15 minutes or so. The starting speed here is 100 miles an hour, but it will be going down to 90 just before the next tunnel. The other thing that is different, I think one of the earlier versions of Network West Midlands from sort of 2010, 2012, at the top of this hill, the line speed went up to 125, whereas now it goes down to 90. See, just after this foot crossing, it goes down to 90. Coming down a hill now, so I've shut off power and I'm having to use the brakes to make sure we don't go above 90. Now coming up on Rockley Station. And now the track is leveled out, so we will need to apply power to keep us up at 90 miles an hour. If you are running a service that is stopping at Radley Junction, this signal will be showing a single yellow aspect, and be warned that the following signal that is red is not much further ahead. And that signal will clear when you're travelling slow enough for you to enter into Radley Junction Station. But in our case, it's green because we're going straight through the middle. The line speed just as we go underneath this bridge is going up to 125 miles an hour. And we get a downhill slope that helps us accelerate up at this point. We currently have 13 miles to go until our final stop at Hammerwich. And we're now passing through Grange. We're now just about to pass through Cottenham Station. That previous signal and the Morpeth board, the signal will be a flashing double yellow, and this will be a single flashing yellow if you are going on the slow lines, because this line is about quad just up ahead. And if you are going on slow lines, you'll be reducing down to 50 miles an hour. And your line speed will then go up to 100, and that'll be your maximum. See here, we now have a neutral section. I'm just going to shut off power, and that is the only other neutral section on this route. And here is the junction where you can go over onto the slow lines. And this sort of section of line with the 4 tracks and the 125 mile an hour running, this is what I'd like to be longer, because we've only got sort of 8.5 miles to go at the moment, and I just wish this sort of area was longer. And we've only got these sorts of fields either side until we reach Nuthurst, where it then just becomes trees right up at the edge, which is sort of slightly less interesting. We're now coming up on Nuthurst Station. A double amber jumped up to green, so I'll stay at 125. This signal is showing a double amber, so I shut off power. And I'll now slow us down to around 85 miles an hour. This is the other reason why I wish this was longer, so I wouldn't end up having to end up behind a slower train as quickly, because there'll be further ahead for it to be. See currently the signal ahead. Oh, it's gone up to double amber now, so we don't need to slow down. That's the 60 mile an hour Morpeth board warning, which is for the upcoming 60 mile an hour speed restriction as we go through Norton Station. And that 60 mile an hour speed restriction gives Morpeth board gives us enough time to slow down from 125, because we were travelling at 90, sort of 85 region when we passed it. I'll begin to sort of slow down around now. See, the signal ahead is showing a double amber aspect. Gives about 70. It's jumped up to green. I'm not going to go back up to 125 because we'll be going back down to 60 fairly soon. I'll keep us around 75-ish till I see the speedboard. I can now see the speedboard coming up, so I will slow us the rest of the way down to 60 miles an hour. See, on our left is Norton Depot. Quite a few short services you can do on Network West Midlands that just run from the depot into Hammerwich, which are sort of nice short runs you can do. So now coming up on Norton Station, and we now have 2.25 miles to go until our final stop at Hammerwich. You see we've now got green signals. We now have a double yellow signal. And at this signal, the line speed is going down to 50 miles an hour. Signal has jumped back up to green. We're now at 50. The next speed limit will be a 40 mile an hour speed restriction, which comes into force just before we enter the tunnels. And you can now see the tunnel just coming up ahead. And the tunnel to the left is the line that goes down to Hobbs Cross and then onwards to Wellingham Ludgate Hill. And from Hobbs Cross onwards, it is a non-electrified line. Just slowing down to 40 now. Signal is green. And at the end of the tunnel, of this section of the tunnel, there's a multiple warning for the upcoming 25 mile an hour speed restriction, which is for the junction and for Maybank, for Hammerwich Station. Which you can see coming up now. And I'll start to slow down. You can see we have a double yellow signal and we are cleared into the platforms at Hammerwich Station. We are now almost down at 25 miles an hour. As you can see the upcoming speedboard now. Not quite slow enough. And we're going into platform 1, and I'm aiming to stop right at the end of the platform at the S-car stopboard. And as we enter this tunnel just up ahead, we'll be passing a sign telling us that AWS is not fitted in the station. See here the Maybank Station. Hammerwich Station is sort of an underground station. I think it's quite nice. I think it's based off Birmingham New Street. And a lot of the parts of this route are based off different stations and bits of route in the West Midlands. See here the S-car stop sign is coming up and there's a red signal at the end of the platform. And we have arrived at Hammerwich Station. I'll put the DRA on because we have a red signal. I'll put us into neutral and I will turn the lights to off. I hope you enjoyed that video. I certainly did. Please leave a comment down below of what train you'd like me to drive on this route next, or what routes you'd like me to do next. Please check out my other videos, and please do subscribe if you are interested in seeing any more content like this, and there is plenty more that I am hoping to make over the coming weeks and months. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.